Alright, so today we get introduced into one of my favorite characters ever within Black Clover, Mereoleona. It is incredible to finally see her in animation. Anime only, as you guys are seriously in for a treat. I love this character. I've been waiting for such a long time for her to finally be animated into the Black Clover anime. And my god, what a terrific job they are doing so far. How's it going though, everyone? My name is Ranger Fly and welcome everyone to episode 71 here of Black Clover. Today, like I said at the very beginning, we get introduced into a brand new character, an important character for the Black Clover universe, Mereoleona. So I'll talk about her backstory, her power, and why she's in it, and etc. like that. So it's introduced into this episode. We all know about Frigolion's, kind of purpose, and of course the Clover Destruction arc when Light literally took away his arm and now he's bedret. He can't do anything, and the Crimson Lions had to look for a new leader, which of course is his older sister Mereoleona, and of course that's Leo's older sister as well. Description of this episode, we see her being, showing her true colors, which is being hatred, but at the exact same time, she is such a good teacher. So at the start of this episode, we see her with all the Crimson Lions. The Crimson Lions' reputation, they've always been a second, third team. Basically within, the Magic Knight roles, it's always been the Golden Dawn, the Silver Eagles, or the Crimson Lions. The Crimson Lions always had a reputation. They're part of royalty, right? They're supposed to be this indestructible squad, especially with Frigolion being, the leader of all this. But of course, with the disappointment of the Black Bulls being in second place, she's given all her hatred towards them because now they're currently in 5th place, and she's kind of trying to motivate them at the exact same time. You can tell at the start of this episode that she's trying to give all this hatred, saying that they should be powerful and they shouldn't be, in 5th place or etc. like that. But at the exact same time, she's kind of like a Yami, for example. She's giving them, hope and inspiration and them trying to surpass their limits. And for that, they have to go to this training camp known as the Hot Spring. When you think of a hot spring, it's like you're in a nice soak bath, right? It's relaxing, you think it's quite easy, but no, it's something completely different, which I'll talk about more into this anime. But I'll say, stumble upon this, we see her character think in their minds that she is terrifying, they don't want to be a part of this, but of course Mereoleona drags Asta in, to this training camp with the Crimson Lions, which of course Leo is really happy about because he's a rival to Asta. He wants to surpass him, he's his best friend. He sees kind of, for the very first time that he wants to beat him because he knows Asta and Asta is Yuno's rival. It's all confusion right there. But the funny part, the comedic side of Black Clover that we get in this episode, of course we all know from the Black Bulls, they've always been dead last every single year. Negative stars, they weren't even challenged whatsoever. But Yami, I just love Yami's character. This is why Yami personally for me is my favorite character for Black Clover, just because his comedic side is hilarious, and especially like him, he's always been lazy. He doesn't really give a crap about anything. He'll make comic reliefs here or there, but literally just go into like the Silver Eagles, or if it's the Green Praying Mantises or anything like that, he's making fun of them, saying, haha, you're all royalty, we as the Black Bulls are in second place now and you're in 3rd, 4th, or whatever placing. So I love that about Yami. I love the comedic side of Black Clover if it's done right, and especially within the Silver Eagles, or if it's the Green Praying Mantises, or even the Purple Orcas, for example, trying to use their magic towards Yami. I feel so bad for the bartender in this episode, even though it's the Wizard King after all. But still, with the bartender, there's always destruction happening in Black Clover. If it's comedic side like this and someone's pissed off, they'll immediately use their attacking magic towards them and just blow up the place. The bartender, or I guess you could say the Wizard King's like, hey, just don't destroy the establishments here. Have a martini, just please don't destroy it. I just love how the Silver Eagle, the Purple Orca, and even the Green Praying Mantis leaders, they're just like, yeah, we'll take the strength. We're not going to fight. Free drinks on the house. Like, that's literally a key for the Magic Knight captains. If every time they go to a bar, they should just be pissed off at each other, try to use their magic, and then get free drinks afterwards. That's literally... Man, that is blackmail right there. I'm just looking at that. That is straight up blackmail. They can just do that to every single bar they go towards and just get free drinks all around. kind of clever, you know, go to a bar with your friends, just try to use your attacking magic and just try to scrap the bartender. So really clever Magic Knights, really clever. Of course, getting to more of the story here of Black Clover, we see Mereoleona come into the bar, you know, surprising Asta and Yuno towards Yami. She drags out Yami, Charlotte, her assistant, and Noelle to the training camp of the Crimson Lions. So what I talked about them going to a hot spring, not exactly a hot spring. She takes them to a volcano, and at the top of the volcano, the summit, there actually is a hot spring where you could soak and have a good time and just relax in general. But to get past it, you have to literally travel through this dangerous volcano territory towards the summit, but there's a secret towards it and how to do it. We see Yami and Charlotte and even Yuno perfect this, which is called Mana Skin. This is an important element for Black Clover and something new that we haven't discovered yet. Basically, Mana Skin is like protection. When we see, of course, Leo and Asta try to get through this volcano territory, they can't really do it. It's hard for them to breathe, they can't move, they're sweating all over the place. But with Mana Skin, it's like protective armor, basically. We see Belle kind of talk to herself about this when Yuno uses his Mana Skin. It basically cools yourself down. It makes you so you're able to use your magic fully, whatever place, if it's cold or hot, you'll be able just to normal. You'll be at your normal self here yet again. That's why we see Yami and Charlotte get past this course really easy. We see Yuno go throughout this. We see Leo and of course the Crimson Lions go through this. Even Noelle giving props to Mereoleona, which of course we see a backstory to Noelle's mom in this episode, which looks identical to her. Mereoleona has a special connection to Noelle's mother, and we see a more inspiration to Mereoleona's character in this episode. Even though she could be a hard ass, at the exact same time she could be a nice person. You know, she knew Noelle's mother, she was best friends with her, she really cared for her character, and giving Noelle that inspiration and saying, hey, you used to be a girl that was always scared of her siblings and always an outcast. Now you're your own person, you're controlling your magic very well, and you could succeed at anything if you try. Just like she's going through this volcano and she can conquer her Mana Skin, because of course Noelle's development throughout all of Black Clover is she can control her magic, but now that she can, and her hope and her friends by her side, she's able to do this kind of stuff. A big thing about Mereoleona's character, she is very smart at the exact same time, because going through this hot spring, going throughout this volcano territory, she brought Charlotte, Yami, and Yuno with her specifically to teach her Crimson Lions. She captured these individuals because Yami even says in this episode that with Charlotte and Yami going through this course easy, the Crimson Lion squad are able to know what Mana Skin is and how to control it, get through this dangerous path. And also with Yuno at the exact same time, she brought her because he is the #1 rookie throughout his age. Yuno is 16. This young, if a young kid like this is able to get past his territory, you are as well. So Mereoleona is a really clever person within this anime of Black Clover, literally getting these 2 captains and the #1 rookie to basically help her squadron out and for them to get stronger and to literally surpass the Black Bulls or the Golden Dawn, whatever it is, next year for the Star Festival. So you gotta give props to Mereoleona for literally coming up with that strategy to help her squadron out. And last but not least that we see in this episode, of course, is Asta. Since everyone is able to get past this, learn the Mana Skin, etc. like that, Asta doesn't have any magic. So what is he going to do? We see him trying to walk this path, this dangerous path within the volcano, but he can't do anything. It's hard for him to breathe. He's sweating all over the place. He can't really use his sword because it's just heat. It's not really magic. That's just how hot it is. They're at a volcano after all. So Asta right now is in a predicament. He doesn't know what to do because really all he has is his, I guess, his magic never giving up and his muscle. That can't really do anything because of the heat, and Mereoleona even shows to Asta that he looked like he had potential, but now she's doubting everything and even bringing Asta all along. But of course Asta, the character as he is, he wants to prove her wrong and get on top of that mountain, because if he can't get on top of the summit, there's no way for him to become the Wizard King. If he can't do a simple job like this, then he doesn't deserve it, and basically Yuno gets all the glory. So the question to you anime only is, how is Asta going to get on top of this summit and basically beat everyone? Can he catch up to the Crimson Lions? Can he catch up to Yuno or Yami or Charlotte? What is his plan and motive? Pretty sure a lot of you are going to guess what he's going to use. I wanted them to show it at the very end of this episode, but we're going to get that in next episode. That's going to be next episode's kind of shine and glory and everything like that. But that's the question of all, how is he going to get on top of that summit and what is he going to do? But yeah, there you go, guys. That is episode 71 of Black Clover. I love the voice actress for Mereoleona. She's a good character. I love seeing her in animation. Of course, the training camp for the Crimson Lions. We see a lot more development for them here yet again. We didn't get that after the Clover Destruction arc way back, so it's cool seeing their squadron again. A lot of characters, of course. We have Noelle, Yami, etc. like that. This was a great episode, guys. I can't wait for more Black Clover and, of course, some more of Mereoleona. Top 3 favorite character, Black Clover. I absolutely love her. And within this episode, guys, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I truly deserved it, and I just can't wait to see more of her character throughout the Black Clover anime. They're doing such a good job so far, and I'm really proud as a Black Clover fan. We're going to put episode 72 in with episode 71, just because late on the week, episode 72 just dropped, and I figured since they're both part of a Hot Spring mini arc or the Hot Spring episodes in general, why not combine them here together? So episode 72 of Black Clover, what I said about my episode 71 at the very end, you know how everyone was wearing the Monoskin and going up towards the summit so that they can go and enjoy the hot springs. You know, that's the key goal, to get on top of the summit. And we're all wondering, what is Asta going to do? Because he can't use mana, he can't use magic. All he basically has is his swords, his grimoire, and his muscles. And I can't really do anything due to the heat where he's at right now at a volcano. So the power that he uses, and it was predictable, like I feel like you anime onlys would know what he's going to use for his power. And yes, here it is again. We see it. It was introduced to us in the Forest arc, and now we see it here yet again. Demon Asta, Black Asta, whatever you want to call him. Personally, I like to call it Demon. I know it's specifically called Black Asta, but I feel like Demon Asta is the best bet right here. So he gets his power here yet again, but there's a lot of a key aspect in actually how to use his power at the start, because Mereoleona, knowing her character, she's still giving like advice to other Magic Knights. It's not just the Crimson Lions and for them to get better. You know, her personality, like what we saw in last episode of her talking to Noelle and her surpassing her limits, she's doing the same exact thing to Asta. It was a key note, like it wasn't a really big help, but just from her words saying it, like she says this to Asta in the anime, you know, into the episode of, do you really know yourself yet as a Magic Knight? And Asta needs to look at himself from like that. Does he really know his power specifically? Because he tells himself like he's the only one that can use his magic swords, because he doesn't have any magical power. He has his muscles because these swords are really heavy, that he's actually be able to hold them and swing them all around. Of course, if he swings to someone or the magical powers, that immediately cancels everything out or takes the magic away. So he needs to figure out, how does he use this power as his own? And that power, of course, is ki. Ki was a big element to Asta's development here throughout Black Clover, and it's still important to this day because ki was introduced to us in the cave arc by Yami's power. Yami uses ki for his power in general and how he becomes a Magic Knight captain. So Asta needs to use that power himself to figure out how to get into his demon transformation, because ki is the aspect of everything, like all human emotions, like, you know, smell, touch, taste, etc. like that. So he needs to combine that power with his anti-magic to make the demon form, and he succeeds on it. The only big problem is he doesn't know how to control that power yet. But at least the good news about this episode is that he does make it to the top. He was, I'm pretty sure, the 5th person there, because we see Mereoleona, of course, Charlotte, Yami, and Yuno there. But still, at least the 5th person to get up there. Asta, you know, we see his power yet again, which is always so cool. And I cannot wait for you anime only to see more of his demon power throughout Black Clover, because it's insane. I absolutely love it. We don't really see that much. It's just basically him flying. He takes out a lava monster. That actually, the anti-magic goes towards Mereoleona's power because it's the strongest magic source it sends. Because with this demon power, it kind of goes and attracts to, you know, a lot of magic, and that's what Mereoleona has right now. And we see a little bit of her physical ability, and this is just a little bit right here. Even though it's not that much, we see her basically just teleport mid-air and, you know, punch Asta in the face. That just shows that she's a strong individual. Like that's only a little bit of her power, anime only. Trust me, when you get to see more down the road, it is absolutely insane. But you know what they say, you know, Black Clover, it's a shonen, right? And, you know, especially a tournament arc coming right here, it's not a shonen without a tournament arc. But when you look at an anime, it's not an anime without a Hot Springs episode or a Hot Springs arc, whatever you want to say here. So yes, to all you anime onlys, we have reached a Hot Springs episode within Black Clover. I was a little bit worried about this episode, actually, how they were going to handle it. It's basically just comedy the whole entire time, you know. How the Hot Springs works, we get to see a little bit within in this episode, is basically at nighttime, you know, all the volcanic, you know, the heat, it goes away. It's basically like a desert, for example. You know how a desert is really hot at the daytime and becomes really cold at night? That's basically what it is, but instead it forms a hot spring at the very top of the summit, and that's the reward for kind of traveling through this volcanic region towards the top of the mountains. So we see this, it separates, of course, boys and girls. Sol, one of the members of the Blue Roses, doesn't want to see Yami or these boys looking at Charlotte, so she separates, you know, two baths, one man, one woman. But the coolest part in this episode, I don't recall this being in the manga. I don't recall Noelle's mother being in the manga at all, and I personally love this development and this backstory of it, because when Merleona is talking with Noelle in this episode, you know, it's for her to surpass her own limits. We kind of get the gist of it right now. You know, Leo wants to surpass his brother and eventually become a Magic Knight captain, and of course the Wizard King, and Noelle to surpass her mother. We see that, you know, Merleona, Noelle's mother, actually was her teacher, you know, person to never defeat Noelle's mother in combat. And that is surprising to manga readers, especially because we all know about Merleona's capabilities and her power. So for Noelle's mom to actually have that strength and not to beat Merleona, even though this is years back, right? Like maybe Merleona never had this power in the first place. I'm talking to you manga readers, but the exact same time, that is very strong. And Noelle's mom was a strong Magic Knight, and this is probably why she got so much respect and why she was royalty in the first place. And also another big manga hit. I didn't know they were actually going to show us something like this, but my god, that little image that we see in Noelle's mom wearing that water armor, man. Oh, that's massive spoilers, by the way. I'm just talking about that, massive spoilers, but just seeing it, it's like, wow, we're going to be seeing that quite some time down the road. That is very cool of how they actually shown that in the anime to give us a little bit of hints, and of course hints to anime only. The last scene we see from this anime episode, we have Yami kind of giving a speech to everyone, all the guys, that they should climb over this wall to peek into the girls' baths, which is a funny part. We don't really see that of Yami. We don't really see a lot of his comedy side. Like, he's usually always comedy all the time, but especially going to an aspect like this, telling them that this is their biggest challenge. This is the biggest battle that you could go towards. If you go and climb this wall, you will truly become a man. So I love the comedy in Black Clover. I know that sometimes it can get repetitive and it can get annoying, but I just love it that Yami is just showing so much support that these guys, they have to go and climb this wall to peek over the girls' baths to officially become a man. Leo's doubting it. Leo doesn't really give a crap about it. Like, he's always that cool guy. He wants to stay calm. And then Austin, this episode, I'm really hoping for a big development. Talking more about the manga throughout this is that he doesn't want to go and peek because he cares about Sister Lily and doesn't want to do anything like that. And then it really cuts the episode. That was the Hot Springs episode. But it's like, Austin, at this point, like, you're not gonna marry Sister Lily. It's not gonna happen. Like, get with Noelle or get with Mimosa, get with Sally. I don't know, just anything like that. I'm really hoping that it comes into Black Clover soon. That really gets out of his head. But of course, it's still comedy. That's his character, and that's the Hot Springs arc or the episodes, whatever you really want to call it. But I really enjoyed it. I think it was cool. The best part of this episode, hands down for me, as a manga reader, learning more of Noelle's mother's backstory, and of course more of Noelle's character development as a character. I love how these episodes are giving us hints and hints and hints of what's going to happen later down the road throughout Black Clover. You know, if you're an anime only, you don't really know what's going on, but to us manga readers, that is such a cool Easter egg of what they're putting on, because I don't remember that from the manga. I don't really know if it actually showed that. It's been quite a little bit. I'm still kind of reading what parts we were at right now, but still a really cool element. But yeah, that was episode 72 of Black Clover. Personally, for me, I'm probably going to give this episode a 7 out of 10. A little bit meh, a lot of comedy, a little bit backstory and Easter eggs. It was still good overall. But next episode, I absolutely cannot wait for. It's the very start, guys. If you're ready for the tournament arc, it begins next episode. And of course, in the preview, we see that little snippet of this one individual that we've seen, of course, in the ending and in the opening of Black Clover. I don't really want to say his name due to spoilers, but anime onlys, you will love his character. I love him. He's such a good individual, especially of what magical powers that he uses. And yeah, there we go. That's Black Clover. I hope that you guys all enjoyed my episode 71 and episode 72 review here of the anime series. Make sure, of course, to leave a like, comment down below what are your guys' favorite parts, of course, of episode 71 and 72, and subscribe to the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. But of course, guys, we'll see you next week for a new Black Clover anime review. As always, guys, have yourselves a wonderful day.